was doing numbers there, man, because we had the connection with some of the people we knew, and it was like, we was having Ice-T, Jodeci, dude from Drew Hill, everybody, coming through Team Black, DJs, everybody. And then I got a call from, I'm not going to say his name, this guy that him, Sky, and he told me about this afternoon radio show. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I started doing that with him. And we did that for a minute. And we were, I think, was it number 3 in the U.S., number 9 in the country? Number 9 in the world or something like that. We doing numbers. And so I was like, man, this is, and people don't know, Sky, like, you one of the pioneers of internet radio. So I'm going to put that out there now. And it was like, all right, so I can do this. So I had a little issue with Team Black, so I broke away from Team Black and started Spin Syndicate Radio. And Sunday through Saturday, had a show every day, and we had a stream 24 hours, Constant Radio. I'm starting to see a lot of the posts, because you know how Facebook says 9 years ago, 11 years ago, whatever, memories on this day. And I started seeing some of the posts, and I just put it out there. I was like, man, I kind of miss radio, but I don't miss the headache of radio, because, it's a headache. It's a serious headache. And then it was 2000, I guess I kept at Spin Syndicate Radio from 2010 to 2014. Yeah, 14.
Mm-hmm.
And in 14, I was having, and this is, I don't mind putting this out there, I was having relationship, financial, and life problems all at once. So there was a show on Spin Syndicate Radio, and there was a gentleman who I call my brother, he's a good dude, who had that show. And what he did, and I love him to this day for it, was take over Spin Syndicate Radio, kept it afloat for a whole year while I got my life together until he was going to do something else. And I told him, just thank you. It is what it is. I said, I'll do it again. And I just never got back to it. But I do miss radio to a degree. I don't miss the prep and the work that goes into it, because what people don't understand, they'll listen to your show, but they don't know the work that you have to do just to make a 2-hour show. Like, just to make that 2-hour show successful, they don't understand the amount of work and the amount of effort, blood, sweat, and tears that has to go into it. Like, I can't say this out, but I know, because I see it every week with someone else. Like, I just see it. There's a lot of work, and living it and knowing it, like, I know how much work it does, how much work it goes into it. And that person, for everyone who's listening, that took over Spin Syndicate Radio and kept it afloat for a year, that was Sky. So that's why I always gonna have a special place in my heart for Sky. I win $100 million hitting the lottery. Sky hit the lottery. He don't have to worry about anything. That's my brother. He's you kept me afloat for it was over a year. It was over a year while I was trying to get life and everything else together. But to answer your question, I miss it to a degree. Like, the fun part of it, I don't miss the work. I'll do interviews all day, but as for hosting, and I'll do guest spots, I'll do that, because the work is not as intense. But as for having my own, no, I'm good.
All right. Who do you listen to, if anybody, that's out right now, that I would consider like a mainstream artist?
All right, so here's the thing. Now, you want me to, and see, this is the thing about radio and doing interviews. You want me to segue this for the commission, or do you want me to just keep this separate? Because there's a lot of, oh my God, there's a lot of good all right, everyone knows who Bad Seed is, right? Well, I know you know, Scott, because we know him. But, like, Bad Seed has some heat that's coming out that is so fire. Knots Raw, he's producing everybody under the sun, and a lot of these guys aren't like your typical A-list, Jay-Z's and Nas. And I get the inside on this stuff, and I'm like, damn, this is dope. Like, I got an inside thing from someone else. Cassidy got some new stuff coming out, and I know his manager, Barbershop Pop. That's an OG to me, from Brownsville. So he has some good stuff coming out. There's this kid in Texas called Kid Arc. Yo, listening to him, you would not believe this kid is 20. Like, he has a flow that's kind of like CL Smooth or Guru, like Jazz Mataz Guru. Late Rakim, early Big Daddy Kane flow, late Coogee rap flow. He's not talking about drugs and hustling and stuff, but he's talking about a lot of conscious stuff. He's like a hardcore Common, and oh my goodness, he's dope. There's a kid out of Riley, Kit Piles, fire. And then I don't know anybody, like, how they not know, but Pudgy the Fat Bastard in New York, like, these are cats that I'm listening. You know what I mean? These are cats that I'm listening to. So, I listen to, the typical Jay-Z, Nas, J. Cole. I hate this new music. Like, I don't listen to no Lil Yachty, young Yarny Hair, Vinci, or who the hell else there is. I play the shit, but it's like dead air to me. But I will say this: I do have a guilty pleasure of Cardi B. Like, it's something about her music. Well, it's not her music; it's her energy in her music that I really like and appreciate. But that's who I'm listening to. It's so much. Like, it's a bevy of good music, man. But as for that's what I'm listening to, because it's just like, you can listen to the mainstream stuff all you want, but there's a lot of underground stuff or not so much mainstream stuff that's really, really good and really, really catching a lot of streams on the airwaves. It really is. Like I said, man, I don't know how anybody don't know, but like I said, Noah O, he got a new joint called Sidewalks with Conway. Joey Gallo just dropped a new joint.
Yo, shout out to Noah O too, man. Like, I linked up with Noah O back, I guess, when everybody from Virginia got on Twitter, and it made Virginia a lot smaller because everybody started, linking up with each other. And
true.
A lot of what everybody's talking about as this thriving Richmond indie live music indie scene is not totally, but he has a big part in that. Like, this was something that he started back in like maybe 2010, and maybe before that, but I started seeing it 2010. Yeah, see, but what I'm just saying is what I saw.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
He was out of town.
Yeah. So now to see people talking about like how dope the scene is, y'all owe some of that credit to Noah O, man. So when you brought up his name, I just didn't want that to just go by without, shout out to the 5-footers too. Like I said, it's a bunch of cats out there. Was it Rockness Monster? His big sister, I forgot her name, but she a dope singer from Richmond too. Yeah, and there was a bunch of people, man, who and you and Yosh, because you guys kind of were like their mentors, kind of behind the scenes and things like that. So I don't want y'all to go without being mentioned as well, man. But big shout out to Noah O, man. Just so proud of that kid. He's doing amazing things right now.
Definitely. And this is what happened. So when Twitter first started blowing up, of course, by this time, it's 2008, 2009, Twitter blowing up. 2010, this is where me trying to get on 106.5 The Beat. And it wasn't me asking, hey, let me get on. I had met Mike, I had met Big Nat, I had talked to him, and, of course you follow it first, but then I started going out to where they were, and I already knew Foot because I used to go to Cal's record store, and I used to see Foot all the time. So Foot was already like a big bro, big mentor. And started talking to Mike more, started talking to RJ more, and started learning more of the FM radio business side. And what happened is you do that, and people start to notice you. They start to notice your work. So while I'm doing all the different clubs, when I was with a certain promoter, you already said her name, we had Richmond on lock as far as venues. If I wasn't at some place, Foolish was somewhere, or if Foolish was somewhere, I was somewhere from Wednesday through Sunday. We had it on lock. And then, of course, when I started working with Black Moon, that just took everything to another higher level. But what happened is 2010, I'm doing all these different venues, and I link up with Noah. Of course, he sent me some stuff, and come to find out, my sister, B, she knew Chubbs. So me and him started connecting on some, more, I should say, more personal level. So we were talking. He was giving me music. He sent me Freeze music. He sent me this. So that's when they had the VA Strong tour. VA Strong tour kicks off. They was like, yo, we need a DJ headline tour. Boom, I get that gig. So we had the first stop in Richmond at Alley Cats. It's called something else now. And so I meet the whole Charged Up family. And then Chubbs has this idea of like having Charged Up DJs. So he moves the studio to downtown. He has the idea of Charged Up DJs. So I bring my DJs over, make them Charged Up DJs. And he and I talk, we work out a deal where I'm his A&R. And it just went from there, man. And that's how the whole Kevin Shine coming to Virginia thing started happening. Just started getting more and more, and it started blowing up. But all of that started because of Noah and coming through, and him and I talking, and he telling me what the plan was. And I give Noah a big shout out, man, because at the time, you know business stuff, different things, but just to watch him navigate through Richmond, and I'm not gonna lie, it helped me navigate through Richmond because it's different navigating in another city, a city that you're from. But when you're an outsider, and you know this guy, when you're an outsider, people don't care about you. They don't want to hear what you got to say. They want to know what you can do, and if you can do it, all right, prove yourself. But then there's also still different ways to navigate that, and just coattailing Noah. That's how I learned how to navigate Richmond, and then broke off and started doing it my way, and then boom. But a lot of that credit goes to Noah and Charged Up because they took what, I guess you could say, what Yosh and our team has started, pardon me, and then took that to a whole nother level. Like, it was crazy, man. And it was because they had, of course, the capital to do it because, as an independent label, man, Charged Up, they was doing numbers with their independent, and that was just selling. That was, because everything it wasn't streams then. It was, hard pressed then in record stores and consignment shops, and they was doing numbers, and Noah O was the main one doing numbers, man. He was, oh my goodness. And he's still doing numbers, man. Hell, he was on Sway in the Morning last year.
That's what I'm saying, man. He doing his thing, and I keep seeing him popping up, like in places that's just exhibiting to me that like the kid is continuing to grow. And then shout out to Charged Up, man, because I remember the 5-footers, they came down to the Corner Cafe. I had Live Music Wednesday, this indie artist event, and they came through, performed, and then like hung out like the whole time, like, you know, stayed to the end, you know, kicked it with people at the end or whatever.